I did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yes or no? Did you ever take banned substances to enhance your cycling performance?
Yes.
I had no prior knowledge of the planned assault on Nancy Kerrigan.
I am deeply sorry for my irresponsible and selfish behavior I engaged in.
Welcome back to Oops the Podcast, everybody. I am Giulio. I'm joined by my pal, Francis.
Here I am.
How are you, Francis?
Good, bud. What's happening?
Dude, so I want to get right into it. I have a
Great.
very funny story.
Oh, good. Here
So
we go.
I went to this wedding in Nashville. It was awesome. I want to talk about Nashville, but we were kind of sharing stories about like shitty situations that guys have gotten into.
Mhm.
And I've told my Quavo story about like how I thought Quavo banged my ex-girlfriend. Quavo from the Migos. Culture 3's out, by the way. Very good album. I really liked it. But I'm obviously over that. But dude, I heard a story that puts that one to shame.
Okay.
Okay. So
Good.
this guy, a buddy of mine told me this story. This happened to one of his friends. So his friend and his friend's girlfriend went to see a Michael Bublé concert.
Oh, nice.
They're in the audience, whatever. It's great. It's great. Michael Bublé keeps like locking eyes with her in the audience.
Wow.
And starts to get to the point where the boyfriend's like a little like uncomfortable, but it is what it is. They somehow end up getting invited backstage. He invites the boyfriend to come backstage too. They're both back there. And whatever, they're hanging out. They exchange numbers, and Michael Bublé starts texting the girl. You know, this is obvious where this is going. Michael Bublé ends up banging the girlfriend, and they end up dating. So she breaks up with the guy and is now dating Michael Bublé.
Wow.
Okay, so dude, listen how good this is. A couple years later, the guy gets a new girlfriend. She wants to go to a Michael Bublé concert.
No.
Dude, it's even better than you think it's gonna be. They're close again. Yet again, Michael Bublé starts locking eyes with the girlfriend. And yet again, they get invited backstage. The guy can't believe it. He's like, I cannot believe this is happening again. Are you fucking kidding me? So they're backstage hanging. Michael Bublé pulls him aside. He's like, hey man, I just want you to know, I'm not going to do that to you again. and he didn't.
And he did not?
No. Isn't that insane? Michael Bublé ends up becoming the biggest bro ever at the end of this story.
Did Michael Bublé remember the guy?
Yes.
And did he invite them backstage again because he had done this to him before?
I believe so. I believe that he was just wanted to reassure him that,
Oh my God.
don't
dude.
worry, dude, I wouldn't do that to you again.
I mean, here's my question. Do you go to the second Michael Bublé concert with your girlfriend?
That's a really good question, because once you're there, you can't turn down the backstage
That's
thing.
my question. Like,
It's a really good question, dude. I think you're right. I think you just like don't go.
I would never have gone. If a Michael Bublé had stolen my girlfriend, I would not have gone.
You don't go.
I wouldn't support him by buying concert tickets again.
Dude, absolutely. Absolutely.
Boy,
Dude, so funny.
I do love Michael Bublé though.
Yeah, no, he's great.
Birds on a field.
There's nothing you can do, man.
You know how I feel. I know that's not the lyric. Ooh, 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 and I'm
Breeze.
feeling good. What's the first line?
Birds flying high.
Birds flying
you know
high,
how I
not on
feel.
a
That's
field.
a Nina Simone song.
They're not in a field. They're up in the air.
But
those
dude,
birds.
so I went to this wedding. It was a Southern wedding. It was so much fun. First of all, no one told me how much of a fucking clusterfuck Nashville is, dude.
Buddy,
Holy fuck.
it is like, I don't even know how to, it's like Vegas or something.
I've never seen so many people partying for no reason.
Yeah.
There was no game. There's nothing. And the streets were just mobbed with people, bro.
Mobbed.
Like it was nuts.
Mm-hmm.
No one told me about that.
Yeah.
Like they're like, trust me, it's crazy. I mean, you guys obviously know. It was just totally bonkers.
The first time I went to Nashville, I thought it was the most fun place I'd ever been.
It's so fun. I'd been before, but I wasn't there on a night where it was like popping off.
It's as good as people say it is. And
It
it doesn't
really
even,
is.
it almost doesn't even matter what night you go.
Totally.
Every night of the week is absolute music, mayhem, people getting fucked up.
Totally.
Just, yeah, crazy.
Dude, it was funny. Like it ended up being one of those things where like everybody's so fucked up that you inevitably just end up in these confrontations. Like cab drivers were trying to rip us off. Like getting home was so stressful. Like guys, like give me 40. We're like, what? Like that
Mhm.
kind of thing
Mhm.
was like obviously really shitty, but also just like really wasted people. Like there was this guy just kind of like hovering over our group. And at one point, Hillary just turns to him and she's like, "You're terrible."
She
And he
does
goes,
that.
"What? I didn't do anything." And I'm like, "Oh God, am I going to end up getting into a fight with this guy now?" And then it sort of fizzled down. But dude, it was just, then the cab driver, this one cab driver tells us that he's a stand-up comedian. I'm like, "Oh, great." Puts on his set for us in the car.
Wow.
And I was like, "Oh God." And it's just him just like shitting on white people. I'm like, this is the only scenario where this is fine. Like, it's fine to like show people your artwork where you're shitting on them.
Yeah.
And like, they just have to sit there and take it.
I love it.
Dude, it was fucking crazy. But all in all, a very fun weekend. Southern weddings are always a good time.
They are.
Yeah.
How far outside of, where was it in Nashville?
So the wedding itself was in Murfreesboro, which is like probably 45 out. It shouldn't have been. It took us like 2 hours to get to the wedding. We actually got there as it was starting. Like the bride was sitting in the back of a golf cart ready to start walking.
Yeah.
But what happened, they found a dead body on the side of the road. So like they shut down the highway.
What, was they driving up Mount Everest?
Dude, people we were in a Sprinter and we were late. Like all the girls started just bugging out. They were like, "Oh my God, we're going to miss the wedding." Like, da-da-da. The stakes were just so high.
Unbelievable.
And we ended up getting there on time. And,
By the way, why do they call those Sprinter vans? I don't think those
know.
vans go particularly fast.
I don't know why it's called that. But it was fun, dude. Something funny happened though, and I'm curious about your thoughts on this. So I'm waiting for the bathroom, and it's taking forever. Like whoever's in there, it's taking forever. And some person came over and she's like, "What's going on? Is there someone in there?" And then she started banging on the door to try to help me, and then she just walked away. So now it just seems like I was the one who was banging on the door, which is annoying because I was waiting. I wasn't going to do that. And then when the guy walks out, you don't want to be like, "Oh, that actually wasn't me knocking." It was some drunk person came and she knocked, and she said, "She's over there somewhere." And I told the girl, I was like, "Why did you do that?" I was like, "Now he's going to think it was me." And she was drunk, and then it just became awkward. And I was like, "This sucks." But all in all, a good time, dude.
Cool, man. Did you guys split you stayed in a hotel room?
We stayed in like in a hotel that actually like sucked. It was like a new hotel, but it was fine. I mean, whatever.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you, and if this is too personal, I apologize.
It's okay.
Do you and the Hill Dog knock boots every time you stay in a hotel?
Let's put it this way. Yes.
Hey-o! Bye-bye!
There's just no other way. Like it's fun, dude. It's just
pipe.
To be honest, dude, I think that even if there was a situation where we were just both feeling terrible, I think we would still at least try to like have a little fun in the sack, just to make sure that we know that we are committed to showing each other we still got it.
To me, it's more like getting your money's worth from the hotel as a couple. Because you can destroy it.
Yeah, right.
And it would trouble me if I spent a whole weekend in a hotel with my girlfriend and we did not have sex.
It would be troublesome.
Because if you're not having sex in a hotel bed, well,
yeah, where are you
having sex?
Right.
And I just think that the moment you get there, there's something. Hotel rooms are an aphrodisiac.
Yeah,
you feel like you're having an affair with your girlfriend. You know, like we've snuck into this hotel, and we better be quick, or our parents will find out. I wonder how we're not back at lunch yet.
Dude, it's funny. We like got in a little tiff one afternoon. Like, I think maybe the first afternoon we were there, and it's funny when we squash a beef. Like, if we've been fighting, we shake hands.
Oh, I love that. I love
like one
that.
person will go, and we go, like, put her there, pal.
Good on you. Good on you.
Dude, one thing I've noticed that's funny. Have you noticed that white people, when they dance, they have to do activities? Like they have to be doing a thing, like they do the lawnmower, or they do the sprinkler, or they like mimic other things to make up for the fact that we're not that rhythmic of a group of people.
I think at this point, dude, that white people, we have been made fun of so much for being bad at dancing that we are almost trying to own the stereotype.
Interesting.
It's almost as if like, you know how certain movie actors get made fun of for so many things, like something so many times that they become the thing that they're made fun of.
Like Joey on Friends. Sort of.
I think, sure. I was
Right.
thinking more like almost like Robert De Niro.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes.
Robert De Niro,
He can lean into the. Hey,
yeah, plays a bad impression of himself.
Right, sometimes. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
With the exception of like The Irishman. Like he still has it, obviously. But, you know, the range that he exhibited early in his career is gone. Now
Right.
he's basically just one guy. And I think white people are doing the same thing, right? You can only hear so many jokes about white people not being able to dance that you become so insecure and self-conscious about it that when you're actually called upon to dance, you fulfill
The
the
prophecy.
stereotype.
Right.
You fulfill the joke and you say like, let's look stupid.
Yeah.
Here's my
shooting an arrow.
shopping cart. Here's my sprinkler.
Yes. Dude, another funny one that I had never seen that I thought was actually really funny. Spencer, the groom, when it was his turn to kind of go in the circle and dance, he did basketball. He's dribbling. And then he did an alley-oop to himself. And like he threw the ball up and everyone's waiting. And when he fucking dunked it, it was like, oh.
Yeah, right.
That was pretty funny.
We all are pretty kind to dancers at weddings.
Yeah.
I mean, I've seen some dance circles where people were doing things, and I guess people, they would do it, some move, and then people would cheer, and I was like, you people have low. Have you never watched Dancing with the Stars or like the Jabberwockies or, you know, any kind of Save the Last Dance movie?
Right.
It's sort of to your point, like the people who clap for those people are also clapping when the plane lands. Like, easily amused,
The
I would
dude,
say.
that's a total dude. Yeah. Here's my advice to you if you're not good at dancing. Don't do the worm, first of all.
The worm.
The worm is not impressive. If you get down and start doing the worm, you're really embarrassing your date and you're really embarrassing yourself.
It's bad.
Put
It's
the worms back on the worm farm.
Yeah.
No worm.
You're better off. You can get through a night of dancing by singing the words to like Mr. Brightside when that comes on by the Killers and jumping around. That's a big one. And then when they play like What's My Age Again by Blink-182, you know, you sing along and jump around with your arms around people, and then just twirl your date every minute on the minute, EMOM, as they say in CrossFit workadouts. And she'll be happy. Maybe dip her once, twice. You don't need to know steps.
But dude, also, but additionally, the singing along can only go so far. I would actually advise you, there are certain songs do not sing along to. Don't sing along to. Nowadays, everybody want to talk like they got something to say.
What?
Forgot
Who's
about-
playing Forgot About Dre at the wedding?
They always play Forgot About
Do
Dre.
they really play that at the wedding?
And everybody always thinks that it's impressive that they know the Eminem part, but it's not because everybody knows the Eminem part.
Well,
and it's really
I
embarrassing.
knew the Dr. Dre part, but there were so many N-bombs in it that I found myself swallowing a lot. You know?
Just weren't talking.
I was always swallowing in the N-word parts.
Forgot About Dre. It's so
Yeah.
it's the swallowing is funny. All right, dude. But lastly, if you're not a good dancer, don't make a face to compensate for the fact that you're not good at dancing.
No biting of the lower lip?
No biting of the lip. No making the thizzle face. Like no silly faces. Just make a normal face.
Uh-huh.
Be simple, like he said in Hitch, right here.
Yeah.
This is you right here.
But
This is you right here.
yeah, but
That's it.
dude, Hitch is another one that just put everyone in a place of being self-conscious.
Maybe,
It
but
did
it's
the
true.
same thing that all those jokes did. And everyone and the problem is that people aren't having fun when they're self-conscious.
Yeah, it's true.
Your best bet, as I said,
You
is
just
sing
gotta go
along
for it.
some of the words. And, you know, there's nothing wrong with being just enthusiastic. If you have fun on the dance floor and you're sweating, people look at you and they're like, I don't care if that guy's good or bad at dancing.
Yeah, that's true.
He's just committed. He's himself.
Yeah, I guess that can be true. But then there's also some people that really make it. You're like, oh, okay. I like reinforcing. Like, dude, there was this waspy lady who was literally just convulsing. She was just like, this is her dancing. She was just doing this. And I was like, and she didn't have a condition. It's just like, this is bad.
Well, how old was she?
Bad. It's probably 55, 60.
See, those people, they'll show up at a wedding. They are out of their element, friend. They don't know what to do with themselves. And they should be locked, you know, arm in arm, one around the waist, one in holding the other hand, and they should be waltzing.
Right.
They should be slow waltzing around.
Right, dude, totally.
Let the kids table, TikTok it up. Let the kids table dab.
Waltzing it
Yeah.
up. But dude, it was in a big backyard, and they did their own fireworks. It was really cool. It was a really fun, lovely wedding.
Dig
I had a great
fireworks at a
time.
wedding. You don't see that too often.
Yeah, man. They were just shooting them off and in a really impressive form.
Let me tell you something. This all speaks to just owning who you are. And last time when we went to Raina's birthday on the boat, I was getting dressed for it. And I thought, okay, well, we're going on a boat and I'm going to wear yacht attire. So I wore white sort of cream linen pants that I rolled quite high just in case, the boat started to sink. Didn't want my pants to get wet. And then I wore deeply uncomfortable loafers. And then I had this blue striped button down. But here was the cherry on top.
Yes, I was like, how are you not going to include the cherry?
I was putting some schmutz in my hair because I know the old sea breeze can lead to a rather disheveled head.
Schmutz.
And I was schmutzing it up, and I don't like to wear hair product very often because oftentimes, have I said this before?
I don't think so.
I hate wearing gel in my hair or any kind of hold because invariably I end up exercising or sweating, and then the sweat drips into my eyes, and when it's full of that hair paste, it makes you even more, it stings quite a bit.
So you don't have any product in your hair right now?
No.
Oh, interesting.
No.
You've like trained your hair to be kind of.
Well, I get out of the shower, I sort of set it when it's still wet the way I want it to look, and then I just leave it for the rest of the day.
Interesting.
But you're going on a boat, you have sea breeze to worry about, to contend with. And I therefore put the schmutz in. And as I'm schmutzing, I start playing around with it like a kid in a bathtub and a handful of bubbles, and sort of pushed it into a mohawk.
Dude, Francis shows up with the full faux hawk.
And I was like, oh, fun. Mohawk? Nobody will see that coming.
Francis does not disappoint by having at least one novelty item, whether it's his hair or his shirt.
And not now.
a
I'm
big
almost,
night.
I have you in my ear sort of when I'm getting dressed with that in mind.
Don't
But
be self-conscious.
no, but I'm saying you spur me to it.
Good. It's
So
great.
I had this mohawk and I was like, fuck yeah. I am rocking a full-blown mohawk tonight.
Dude, fuck yes.
And I just left it, and I showed up to this party, and people made assumptions. Were you telling me that you watched the heads turn as I arrived on the boat?
I may have been telling you that. Yeah.
And you said that everyone was like, fuck this guy.
No, I didn't say that.
Maybe Abba said that.
Abba would definitely
Abba
say
was
that.
like, I was watching the faces of people as you arrived. But let me tell you something. By the time we were passing under the Brooklyn Bridge,
Mhm.
some 45 minutes upon setting sail, people who had originally, they were coming up to me and they were like, when I first saw you, I didn't like your mohawk.
Are you serious?
But now I've become quite adjusted to it, and I like it, and you're pulling it off. And it's
that
all
actually happened.
yeah. People had
God.
come around on the mohawk.
That is fucking
And
hilarious.
the rest of the day, I was the guy letting his peacock feathers fly, just living as himself, brushing off any, mildly passive aggressive attacks on the mohawk,
Dude,
and
that's great.
saying I am who I am. And Ricky gave me the best compliment. He was like, dude, you are who you are, and you lean into it, and it's great.
That is nice.
And it's very, very sweet.
That's
so
a very nice compliment.
But I have one more thought to say, which was that I had this sort of standoff with another comedian, Ashley Gavin.
Oh. Do I know
Who
her?
I
don't know
think
if
so.
I think the name sounds familiar.
Yeah. And she's a good comic. And we were talking to two other non-comedians. And then she started making comedian jokes about me, but being like, you look like you own the boat. You look
Oh,
like
right.
yada, 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 privilege. And I was like, well, where did you grow up? And she goes, right here. and I was like, Manhattan? She goes, yeah. And I go, what school did you go to? And she said, Dalton. And I was like,
The most
Dalton
elite school in the country.
is, I was like, you're me.
You're who you just said
you
I
and
am.
I would have been debutante ball dates. Why? Like your parents would have asked me to escort you and learn, the steps. Like, well, what are we talking about here? We have
That's
the
great.
same fucking.
That's funny, man.
So, and then she backed off. But we as you like to say, we almost shook hands after.
Yeah.
It was
You're
a
just
well
busting each other's balls.
salvo. So okay,
That's funny, man.
yeah.
All right, well, as you guys know, we are very excited to be partnering with the cereal company Magic Spoon.
Hell yeah.
We love it. I actually,
Love the spoon.
in between recording today, I've already eaten half of this box of the Cocoa Magic
He's
Spoon
just
grain
been
feed
dry
cereal.
fisting it.
I've been just fucking dry fisting the hell out of it.
Yeah. We
It's
love
so
the
good.
spoon.
0 grams of sugar, between 13 and 14 grams of protein per serving, as well as 4 grams of net carbs. This stuff is healthy. It's delicious. It will bring out the child in you without having to feel like shit from all the sugar. It's just like so healthy and so
That's
delicious.
it. That's absolutely right. Only 140 calories a serving. It's keto friendly, gluten free, grain free, soy free, low carb, and GMO free. The variety pack has 4 flavors: cocoa, fruity, frosted, and peanut butter. You can mix those flavors all the way up, by the way. You mix the cocoa and the peanut butter, and you got a peanut butter cup, and that's, boy, who doesn't love that?
I'm literally playing the fucking crossword puzzle on the
They
back
got a
now.
maze on mine. When was the last time you did a maze?
Dude, mazes are so fun.
When was the last time you did a maze on a box instead of one that was in hedges that was terrifying?
I used to have a maze book.
Did you?
Yeah, it was real. I loved it too. It was
Good
so
for
fun.
you.
I know.
All right, so go to magicspoon.com/oops to grab a variety pack and try it today. And be sure to use our promo code OOPS at checkout to save $5 off your order. Remember, get your next delicious bowl of guilt-free cereal at magicspoon.com/oops and use the code OOPS to save $5 off. Thanks, Magic Spoon.
So, dude, I have a question for you. Hillary went to dinner with her friend and her friend's older boyfriend. He's much older. I think he's probably like at least 20 years old. At what point is there like a specific age difference where you go into that dinner knowing that the boyfriend is going to pay for everyone? Because at this current age, I don't necessarily feel pressure if I'm going to dinner with like Hillary and her friends or something. Even though I'm a little bit older than her, I don't feel like I'm supposed to be paying.
Well, okay. Was it just Hillary, her friend, and then that old man?
Yes.
That's it.
Yes.
Okay, so then if you had been on that date, would you have expected him to cover the 4 of you?
Interesting. No, I would split it with him.
Yeah.
He and I would split it.
So then it's not so much a question of older man, it's just a question of him being the only man.
I don't think that's true necessarily. Because, dude, if I go with Hillary and a friend, it doesn't necessarily mean I'm picking it up. We usually all just pay.
So you think that by virtue of him just being,
The older guy.
a Vietnam War draft dodger, that he has to pick up the bill.
It just seems squidge to me to not pick it up, dude.
What's that?
Squid? It's just squidge. It's like, dude, squidge.
Sounds like what you'd use to clean a windshield.
Yeah, that's true. No, it's just like, it's like a whack. It's like weird to be like really much older than everybody and like not be picking up the bill in that scenario.
What
in
does
my
he
opinion.
do?
I don't know.
Can we presume he's successful?
Yeah.
Look, if he's a teacher, no disrespect to teachers, but
Maybe he's not making a ton of money.
if he shows up in a suit and he's unbuttoned his shirt from a
No,
long
dude.
day at Goldman, then yeah, you
Okay,
expect
fine,
him to
but-
pick up the bill.
Dude, suit schmoot, dude. I don't think you need, like, if he's not in a suit, if you're older, you should be paying, dude. If you're way older than everybody, you should be paying for that.
Interesting.
That's my thought. I think that, but is there like an age difference? Is it like 20 plus years? That means you automatically have to pay for the dinner. I mean, if there's 10 people, it's different. But if it's like your girlfriend and her friend, or even your girlfriend and her 2 friends,
How many girls? I mean, this is a complicated one because
I know a few girls who date guys older.
No. What I mean is there a number of girls that could go out to dinner together where that guy comes, where it's too many girls for him to have to cover?
I think there comes a point where he just wouldn't be at that dinner. like you said, it would be too weird to be the odd man out in a group of too many women.
Okay.
So I think that more than 3, I don't even see him being at the dinner.
All
More
right,
than
so
3 total girls.
You're saying 3 girls, 2 girls, he should be paying no matter what because he's an old man.
Yes.
But if you're on that dinner with 3 girls, 2 girls, you should not be paying because you're not an old man.
Correct.
What if your girlfriend were 21 and she was with another 21-year-old friend and you're yourself?
I'm probably paying.
So then it's an age gap.
Yes, that's my point. I think, yes, age gap. But also like a 21-year-old's like a child, sort of. They're not like a child, but like, she's in college. Like we're splitting it. Like maybe if her parents are super rich or something. But if not, like I'm paying.
I mean, I just think there are all sorts of extenuating circumstances here that that can kind of lead to a feel of the situation.
No, definitely.
And in your mind, it's a no-brainer that guy should be picking it up. Did he not pick it up?
He picked it up. And I said to her before the dinner, and if I didn't, I thought it. And then I remembered to ask her after, and he did. He paid. I specifically asked. She didn't make a big deal out of it. I did. I don't want to like put her.
I'm trying to think about.
I think she would have been fine with it.
If my
if he didn't.
girlfriend and I and one of her friends went out to dinner. Yes. Okay. So here's why it makes sense. And it's not to me about age. It's that they know I'm paying for my girlfriend.
Okay.
So
do you
then-
always pay for her when you guys go out?
Just about. Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say
And I watched you pull a fucking move and a half, dude. I got a fucking semi immediately from how fucking sexy this was. Francis and I crashed his girlfriend's dinner. The dinner was over and Francis picked up the fucking bill for everybody. I had to do a tuck, dude.
Yeah. Kind of waiting on Venmos from those people. Kind of thought they would have sent them by now. Wasn't so much a gesture as just a let's make this easy. Not really sure where they are. Maybe they're celebrating Juneteenth. I don't know. Whatever it may be. So look, back to this specific thing, right? If I'm with my girlfriend and a friend of my girlfriend, both of them know that I'm paying for my girlfriend and myself, which means that I'm then going to ask the one remaining person to pay a third of the meal.
Interesting. So
that's
okay.
For the sake of that, I might as well pick up the whole thing.
Fair enough. So this is the thing, though. I would say Hillary and I are splitting the vast majority of the time. There was a time earlier in our relationship where I would pick it up every once in a while, and obviously early on you pay.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, like you have to pay early on. Whatever, maybe that sounds fucking like archaic or whatever, but you got to pay.
I agree.
You're going on a fucking date, pay, dude. Or don't go on the date.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's ridiculous. Even the first few dates, whatever. So we're typically splitting. So if we go to lunch and one of her friends comes, that continues. And I think the friends typically always expect that they're going to be paying as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I don't feel bad about that. Like that doesn't,
Mm-hmm.
not to mention, I mean, Hillary does very well for herself too. Like she doesn't need me to pay for her. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
But I know your girlfriend does really well for herself too. And
yeah, so the way we usually do it is if we have a date night, like a dinner, and I make a reservation and all that, I pay for her. But she always offers. But
That's cute.
I'm like, no, I got it.
and that's a cute way to like not let the romance wear off.
Yeah, but
It's a nice gesture to offer.
if we go out to an impromptu brunch, sometimes she'll pick that up.
Oh, cool.
So it's that, but then when you live together, we're doing all these Whole Foods runs, multiple hundreds of dollars in groceries
Right.
each week, and you kind of just, the money seems like it shakes out.
Right. It ends up kind of.
Yeah. I don't know exactly. Ever since we started loading up the podcast with ad reads, I haven't been worried as much about money.
Thank God. Thank God.
Yeah.
Dude, awesome. So I have another really fucking funny update that I'm excited to talk
Good.
about.
I do have a an email from or a message from a listener about living together.
Oh, do you want to do that?
Well, it might go well on the
With
heels
what we
of
were
us.
just talking about?
Yeah.
Let's do that first.
All right. So let me. I got this message from somebody, and I think it's a pretty fascinating sort of tale, and one that will speak to a lot of people. So, this is from a guy named Juan.
Juan.
Yeah. So he goes, big fan. I'm in need of some Oops the Podcast advice.
Love it.
I have been dating my girlfriend for almost 3.5 years. I'm now 26. She's 28. She moved in with me a month into us dating.
Damn.
We both thought it was a bit early, but we were happy with doing so anyway. Parentheses, she doesn't pay bills.
Mm-hmm.
Fast forward to now, I don't like where I'm at, life-wise. And when I stand back and think, do I want to marry her? The answer is no. I hate that I have to break up with her, but I just don't want to marry her. We've been down the road of trying to repair ourselves, and I can't wait any longer. My question is, how do I do it in the most caring way possible? I know it's going to be devastating for her, and I want to be as gentle as possible. I don't think she has anywhere to go since she can't afford an apartment. Help me out, please. I'll even become a Patreon subscriber.
Well, dude, my question is, like, is he doesn't like where he's at in his career? It's like some of those details are confusing.
Yeah, it's a
Like-
little confusing, but let's take some of it at face value. Let's just say that the relationship's broken, and he needs to tell her that she needs to move out.
Yeah, but like, is the only reason he's doing this because he doesn't like where he's at? Because that's not a good reason to break up with someone. Because you don't think you can support her? Like, why not have that conversation instead of just breaking up with her prematurely?
Okay, so right. I mean, we could tackle it from that, which is like, how could they fix the
That's
relationship?
just undeniable to me. This idea that like he doesn't like where he's at financially, it sounds like.
I don't think he's in love with her anymore.
Okay.
That's sort
That's
of
what you
my
guys are gathering?
assumption.
Okay.
And I think it'll untangle it a bit
Yeah.
for us if we go along that. But the question remains really, obviously there's tons of crazy details in here, like she doesn't pay, she doesn't know where to go, all of that. But the question really for me is like, how do you ask someone to move out? How do you break up with someone you live with? Who moves out? And how long does that take? What's the process?
Right. So this is what I would say. You can do a sort of like interim period where you're like, we're breaking up. You take some time to find a place. You can stay here, obviously, until then. You can do that.
What if she says or he says, I'm not leaving, I pay for this place too?
Right. So then in that case, he goes, find a place. I'll help you pay for it for X amount of time. I think that's like a perfectly civil thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
If she's like, I'm not leaving, then he'll be like, okay, well then you have to pay. And then she won't be able to. So that's not even something to worry about. And I think at the end of the day, you just have to do what you have to do. And that's it. It's going to suck for a little, but it'll be better for both of you when you figure this out.
Yeah.
No reason to prolong it because you're afraid to have the conversation. Like, you just have to do it.
What is the amount of time that you're supposed to give the person who you're kicking out to find a new place and sort of get back on their feet?
I would say a month is generous.
You leave them a month from the day you tell them it's over. You say you can be in the apartment for another month.
You don't even say it like that. You don't say
Well,
you
I'm
can
just
be here
saying-
for another month. You'd be like, listen, like, why don't we take a month to figure this out? If you don't want to live with me, maybe we can take turns. I can stay with a friend for a week. Then you can stay with a friend or whatever. If you don't mind being here together, I don't mind. So let's like do that. I care about you as a person. I want you to find your way. So like, let's like try to make it happen. I'll help you. I'll help you find places like work. You know what I mean? Obviously it might be too complicated to do that way, but there's a variety of scenarios where it can work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and we've just listed a few. And I think that there's something there for everybody to pick from.
Yeah. I heard of a woman, a friend of a friend, who had decided that she wanted to break up with her boyfriend, whom she lived with. And they, he didn't see it coming. And she had known for a while that she wanted to do this. So she waited to tell him until the eve of a 2-week trip that she was going away on.
Oh, God.
So that they wouldn't have to face each other in the wake
Oh, that's interesting.
of this news, and then he could gather his things.
That's actually not a bad idea.
I think that is the correct idea.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it.
You should try to schedule it around, unfortunately, a time when, you can give the other person some breathing room to sort of organize their life and effects and all of that.
Damn. So that's what happened, and then they broke up, and it's all good.
Broke up with him, then she went away, and yeah.
Damn.
I just think, man, when you live together,
Tough.
how do you detach
I know.
everything from that?
I know.
My mind, as somebody who we both live with our girlfriends, obviously, I hate to even think about it, but my thought would be, because there's so much stuff that we co-own now, so much of the furniture, and I don't even know how we would, it's at this point, it's a divorce. It is. You own things together. So I don't know.
Yeah.
Because the other thought I had is that, if theoretically I said to my girlfriend, you can either move out or you can live here and I'll move out, she might be able to keep living here. She would bring someone else in as a roommate, like a friend or two.
Crazy.
And then I'm off to find my own way.
Sounds like such a pain in the ass.
You don't really know who the apartment goes to. Who would the apartment go to if you and Hillary broke up?
I think she would be more likely to be able to afford it by herself. She also paid for most of the furniture. So I contributed, we had a conversation before we moved in. How much is a good amount for us to spend on furniture?
Yeah.
We agreed on a number, and then she was like, I'm going to additionally get more shit.
Yeah.
Don't be weird, which I've discussed that already. So ultimately, I'd be reasonable. I would be like, obviously X, Y, and Z belong to you. Maybe I'll take this, and then so there'd be that, and then maybe we'd start dividing up some stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I have some skin in the game too. I bought some things outright and then contributed to the overall cause. Again, she obviously did much more. So I think I would probably be the one moving out. I would be pretty bummed out because she put this apartment together so nicely, and then I would have to try to do it on my own. And
I'm sorry to
fail.
to play this game.
No, it's okay.
It's not it doesn't taste very good.
No. The idea of it is such a bummer. I mean, she's such a great partner.
Yeah, and you also just moved in, so it's still so fresh and nice.
I don't even like having the apartment without her. I don't like being in it without her.
No?
No, I haven't gotten to that point yet. Maybe it's because I was just away, but I wanted to come back with her there.
Absolutely.
And the fact
it's a warm home. You want to come home where she's cooking a stew.
I know, dude.
Maybe she's pulling something out of the oven wearing oven mitts. How cozy is that? How warm and comforting is that?
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah. Well, listen, dude, you guys have built an amazing life together. And as a result, I kind of want to tell you that you should start thinking about some life insurance. You absolutely should think about life insurance because it's never too soon. We are working now with this incredible company, Policy Genius.
It's an online marketplace.
Yeah,
for insurance, specifically we're talking about life insurance here.
Yeah,
they have all different kinds of insurance, but life insurance is the thing that stuck out to us.
Yeah. You can compare quotes. You can kind of get a good sense of what's available in different policies. As I said, if someone relies on you, for financial support, or if you're codependent with someone else, you need life insurance. It's not too soon at this point in our lives to really get involved with that. Policy Genius makes it easy to compare quotes from over a dozen top insurers all in one place. And why would you compare them? Well, Giulio, you can save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius.
And the thing to remember too is the agents who are working for Policy Genius, they're working for you, not for the insurance company.
That's it.
They're trying to find the best policy for you. So it's a nice way to go about it.
Yeah. You could save $1,300 or more per year on life insurance by using Policy Genius to compare policies. That's what you said. The licensed experts work for you. And that kind of service has earned Policy Genius an excellent rating on Trustpilot. Getting started is easy. Head to policygenius.com. In minutes, you can find out how much life insurance coverage you need and compare personalized quotes to find your best price. When you're ready to apply, the Policy Genius team will handle the paperwork and scheduling for free. Policy Genius never sells your info to other companies. They don't add any extra fees. Head to policygenius.com to get started right now. Policy Genius. When it comes to insurance, it's nice to get it right.
Dude, getting back to the country was a pain in the ass. And I got to be honest, now at a time where all the restrictions are being dropped in America, like the idea of traveling overseas is far less appealing. Knowing that I can live a normal life here, why would I leave to go where I have to wear masks and do all this shit? Like you still have to take a test to get back into the country, which I think is stupid.
Yeah.
Why am I taking a test? I have the vaccine. What happened to the vaccine thing?
Yeah.
Like I understand the argument of it, but if like a lot of people are vaccinated, it seems like overkill, and that they should be dropping that.
You've become anti-COVID.
Dude, I mean, at this point,
if you get the vaccine, you become very jaded about it.
Totally. And dude, like the whole process of coming back was such a pain in the ass. Flying internationally can really be annoying. Like you end up in that check-in line where there's people like moving everything they have. Like everybody's checking in 4 fucking suitcases. It takes an hour to get through that. Then on the actual plane, like these people on the plane, dude, it's like they've never flown before. They're just like talking constantly. Everybody's like coughing, and I'm getting elbowed in the head by people who like aren't aware of the personal space thing on a plane. I'm like, these people are fucking sheep, dude. This is terrible. I eat sheep like you for lunch, literally. I literally eat sheep like you for lunch.
I have to say that traveling internationally is, when you're coming home, sometimes it feels like the people that are on the plane with you are moving to America.
I know. I really think that's what was maybe happening.
Because they have suitcases. Who are these people at the airport who need like multiple carts to carry the biggest baggage you've ever seen?
Dude, totally. And it's almost like they've never flown before. The clapping thing's happening, and also the Father, Son, Holy Ghost thing over and over and over. It's like, dude, you're going to be fine.
Let me ask you this. When you're flying internationally, do you get yourself like a premium economy seat or
so it's funny,
extra legroom, anything like that?
No, but like now I have like Delta status now since I was flying a lot during last year and everything rolled over. So I've been getting upgraded every flight, and it's the greatest thing in the world.
You get upgraded to what?
First class usually.
Come on.
Nashville, I got upgraded to first class both flights. It was fucking amazing. But okay, so for the flight from the Galapagos to Ecuador, we had to change the flights because we wanted to stay in the Galapagos an extra day, because otherwise we were going to be in this really dangerous city. We're like, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
So the first class was actually less expensive than changing the economy.
Oh, wow.
So we paid for that. But the JetBlue flight back, obviously a lot of the time there isn't even an option for a nicer seat. But I absolutely would not have spent more money to upgrade. I'm pretty against that. I'll fly in coach. I don't care. What about you?
If there is if I'm flying overnight, I am very anxious about the idea at this point of flying coach overnight. Yeah. I mean, I'll do it. Yeah. I haven't done it in a while.
Totally. Dude, I'm not going to lie. Like I tend to like get sick at the end of these trips. Like I think like I'm not as resilient as I should be given the nature of these trips that I like to go on. However, I didn't sleep at all on this. It was an overnight flight.
Yeah.
I got in at 5 a.m. I took a 2-hour nap. I then had an audition. I didn't go back to bed. And then I went to Raina's party.
Dude,
the same day.
It's just nuts.
I know.
Man.
And I was actually fine. I couldn't believe it. And maybe it's because I slept 14 hours the day before, but it was 6 sleep, which doesn't count.
Yeah, man. I don't see, this is my point. Like, I realize that what I just said a moment ago may have sounded very entitled and privileged, which is like, I don't want to fly coach overnight. My response, my answer to that is not to always be upgrading to business class. My answer is that I just have not been traveling. I've stopped traveling.
Right.
Because it's too expensive.
Right.
To fly business class to Europe.
Right.
Or wherever the fuck you're going.
Never.
I also have never been somebody who gets any of these crazy upgrades.
Right.
How much do you have to fly to get that?
So
man?
I have a credit card. I have an airline credit card, which automatically helps you get to a certain category because you can either do X amount or card spend. And I do everything on the credit card. So I easily hit the card spend. And then it becomes like you get an MQM bonus or something for Delta once you hit the card spend too. So it gets you halfway there. Then if you just buy a few flights, you automatically make it to status.
What is status? What does
So
that
like
mean?
once you have status, you are higher on the likelihood list of getting upgraded if there's extra seats in first class. They automatically start filling those people with people who have status.
Wow.
So there's like diamond, I think it's diamond, platinum, gold, silver. And I'm silver. I don't even have good status and I still get upgraded all the time.
One time I was flying to Scotland to
Mhm.
meet my dad to play golf.
How fun is that?
We used to do father-son trips over there to play. And
St. Andrews.
yeah,
Fire.
the old course. When we had a caddy, we went up and played in the Highlands at like Royal Dornoch and some of these other spots, and we had this caddy who said the most Scottish sentence I had ever heard. We were talking about how expensive it is to come over and play golf in Scotland, and he goes, "You've got your caddy, your green fee, food." He goes, "Food." He goes, "You buy a bib at the pro shop." He goes, "It's a lot of candy." A lot of candy. Yeah.
That is awesome. Man.
Yeah.
That was good.
Yeah.
I'm
You
impressed
got
by
your
that.
caddy, green fee, food, airfare, and the bib in the pro shop. It's a lot of candy. A lot of candy.
Dude, it's funny how these guys have like a phrase that'll stick with you. Like we had an Uber driver in Nashville who was like talking a lot, but he was really funny. And he said one thing that I won't forget. He goes, "My doctor told me I got to get in shape. I told him, round is a shape." I was like, I wonder how many times he's used that. Sort of like, that's a lot of candy.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dude, very funny.
So on that flight, I had bought a premium economy seat,
Okay.
which had the most,
Little
maybe
extra egg
3
legroom.
inches more of legroom and
Exit row or
the
something.
tiniest little kickstand of a footrest. And I showed up at the gate and they told me I had been upgraded to business class.
Fire.
And I thought I thought they were fucking with me. And I thought, well, maybe my parents, like as a gift,
Mhm.
did this behind my back. But no, they were like,
Wow.
well, we had extras and you had this seat, so we did it. But that's the only time in my life that's ever happened.
That's amazing.
And I've flown a lot.
Dude, I had really bad flight anxiety before this flight because the previous day, literally, I couldn't keep food in.
Yeah, man. I don't know how you did that.
And dude, so I was unclear to me if I was going to be ready to fly. So like it was really stressful.
Would you have stayed in that country
No,
to
no. And I'll tell you why, bro, because I would have missed the pod and I'm not willing to do that.
So you would have sucked it up no matter what, how sick you are. You
Shitting
would've-
my pants, vomiting on the plane, I would have still come back for the boys.
Wow.
I'm serious. And I've done it before, dude. I was in St. Bart's and I got really sick and I stayed for like an extra 5 days. I couldn't come back.
Wow.
I got the fucking dengue fever, bro.
Did you stay at the hospital?
No, I had a doctor come to the hotel to like help me.
So
but
you
no.
had to add 5 days to a hotel in St. Bart's.
Thank God I wasn't paying.
I was going to say, I mean,
But it sucks for that. So actually they had the rooms. So like their family was coming. It's people I used to live with. So like some of them were there the first week. Some of them were there the second week. So they had the room.
I see.
But I ended up just staying there for mad long. But no, I could have afforded to because we did the Galapagos cheap. The rooms were cheap. It would have
Yeah.
been fine, but I wouldn't have wanted to miss the pod. So I was obviously, it gave me a lot of anxiety.
Shout out to the guy who hooked you up in Panama.
Oh, dude, fuck yeah, James. This is so funny. My parents love to tell me not to do things because I'm going to die. So anytime a stranger offers me something, they're like, you're going to get murdered. I'm like, what are you talking about? This guy, James, he owns a global hotel, Panama. He saw that I was coming to Panama. He's like, dude, I got your room. It's on me. I was like, dude, that's amazing. Got us the room, but I was getting in at 5 a.m. So without even asking him, he knew that I was going to need 2 nights.
Yeah.
So he automatically gave me 2 nights.
Wow.
Then he goes, dude, I was like, dude, we should meet up. He's like, I'm not trying to take too much time away from you and your lady since you're going to be in Panama. So I'd be down to meet for a drink or something, but I don't want to impose. I was like, oh, dude, it's not me and my lady. I was like, it's me and my friend who's bringing a camera to film everything. He goes, oh, so you need 2 rooms. gives us 4 nights for free
How about that?
and treats us to dinner,
Perks of the pod.
to an
Holy
incredible
shit.
dinner. And this hotel is really sick. So if you guys are down there, check it out. But dude, fucking perks of the pod, baby.
Perks of the pod.
Dude,
wow.
the opening segment of that video is going to be me reading the text that my parents sent me in the insanely sick room. And then I'm in the bathtub. It's going to be funny.
Nice.
But that was nice, dude.
Nice.
Well, dude, let me ask you this. I don't know if it's too deep in the episode to even go here because of how good of a thing this is. Should I save the update for the next episode or should I just go there?
No, throw it in.
You think I should throw it in?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen to this
Do we
shit.
have any more ads that we need to do?
No.
We're done?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
Harry's and
Great.
okay, listen to this. This is so fucking good. It's insane. Okay, so I don't know if you guys remember in episode 163,
Wow.
we talked about me waiting in line at Best Buy for the new release. So Chris, I'd love it if you could throw in the audio from the Instagram clip right here. So in case you guys aren't familiar with this story, this is the story, the quick version of the story. I have this friend, Brent. We're in college and PS3 is coming out. Brent comes to me, he's like, there might be kind of big resale value here. Should we scope it out? So I'm like, yeah, sure, let's do it. I was like, I don't really have enough money to buy one because I think they were like $400. And he was like, don't worry. He's like, I'll stake you and like, let's go figure it out and like camp out and do it. So I was like, okay. So we go to like, it was a neighborhood on the outside of Boston that wasn't very nice. At Best Buy, we decided to post out.
Yep.
So we get there the day before and we get in line. They give you a ticket for your place in line just to guarantee your spot in line just in case it starts getting crazy. We borrow our friend's car. We're kind of like sleeping in the car, taking turns, going in and out of line. It starts becoming crazy. Like there's all sorts of characters in this line. At like 3 a.m, this like really sketchy guy appears and he starts scoping out the line and he comes over to me and he had like a big neck tattoo of like a musical note. This guy was named Miles and he goes, hey man, he goes, how much for your spot in line? He's like, would you be willing to sell your spot in line? And I'm like, I might be. You know, I'm not totally sure yet, but I might be. So then everybody starts deliberating over whether or not that's a good idea. It's like the resale value on these things is going to be huge. It might not be worth it. Mind you, like I don't have to put up any money to get this spot in line. In the morning, he comes back and he's like, would you be willing to part with your spot in line for $800 cash? And I was like, yeah. I immediately was like, I will do that. He pulls it out of his pocket, big stack of hundreds. And I'm like, that's never good. Breaks me off $800. I gave him the ticket and he goes, all right. He goes, but you got to come inside with me. And I'm like, okay. And Brent looks at me and goes, you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that. He goes, you see the guys that guy's with? Like we look over there, these sketchy guys. We're like, oh my God. Right before we go in the store, I see the guy motion to his friends going, like motioning for them to go around the back. Because what you would do, you go into Best Buy, you go in the back, get your PS4 or PS3, and then you walk out the back, and that's how you get out. So we get in the store. Mind you, the guy kind of motions to his group to go out around the back. I'm like, fuck. Inside the store goes, how much did I give you for that? I was like, $800. He goes, that was too much. He goes, we're going to take care of that when we get outside.
Oh, God.
I was like, oh
my God.
I know. I was like, what have I got myself into? Are you
That
serious?
wasn't a negotiation.
Yeah, I'm like, fuck. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get my ass beat. Brent goes around back and he gets his and he goes out. And I text him, I'm like, dude, go to the car. And I'm going to try to sneak away from Miles and I'm going to jump in the car and we're going to drive away. So he goes to the car. I'm like, waiting. I'm like, when the fuck is he going to get in the car? And finally he's like, I'm here. I see him look the other way. I sneak back, run out to the car, speed away, get away with it. And then for the next 2 months, I had friends of mine were pranking me from random numbers being like, it's Miles. But dude, that is the only time that I did that, waited in line, and the PS3s did not have any resale value at all. And bro, at the time, you know how much money that was for me? I was selling my blood for $50.
Yeah, right. You were.
It was huge. So the thing that started happening, obviously, is everybody started commenting, this is Miles, haha, this is Miles. This clip went pretty viral, not just on our page. A couple of people kind of like stole the clip and posted it on their shit. They tagged us, but so it got around. I'm in the fucking Galapagos just chilling. I get a message from Chris being like, and thank God while I was on the boat, I didn't have service, so I couldn't download this. And it was already a really stressful day. Like we were trying to change our flights. I couldn't get in touch with the airline. There was all this shit going on. We realized we needed COVID tests, had to figure out how to schedule that. And then I get this message from Chris. This is the message. Funny thing, ... Okay, so this message is from Mass Pike Miles.
On Instagram.
To the Oops account. Funny thing, ... I'm Miles, ... And I remember that moment like yesterday, ... I think it was the Best Buy in Dedham, 2006. Mass Pike Miles, ... Awesome story, ... It's not a full ellipses, but
No.
one period would have been much better.
Yeah, a lot of 66% ellipses.
What is
there.
the 66% liberty that Miles is taking with the ellipses? Now, given the nature, I'm obviously skeptical. I'm like, it can't be him. I start looking at his Instagram. He has the musical note neck tat. It's 100% him. I can't believe it. It's him. I'm like, oh my God, is he going to like try to get the money? What the fuck is going on? I was like, I need to try to get ahead of this. I cannot believe he actually saw this fucking clip. So I sent him a message. I'm like, hey man, what's up? Like, so funny you saw the clip. Hope all is well with you. And then I was like, I bet your son, who you bought the PS3 for, is a grown ass man now.
Yeah.
Like trying to kind of like lean into, you're a family man now. Like,
yeah.
and dude, he replied. And he goes, he's actually in college. Funny shit is you couldn't have had a more trustworthy person to do business with. Someone famous actually sent me that clip and thought you couldn't have been talking about anyone other than me. And funny shit, it was. Dude, so Miles went on to have this big rap career. He was signed to Maybach Music.
Are you serious?
Yes, he did songs with Rick Ross and all these big rappers. Mass Pike Miles. Go check out his Instagram. Now he does jujitsu. When I saw the jujitsu, I actually felt a little better about the whole thing. I'm like, oh, this guy does jujitsu. It's all about discipline. It's not like cage fighting. If I saw it was cage fighting, I would have been stressed out.
Yeah, jujitsu people don't come up to you on the street and break your arm with an arm bar.
Yeah. And it sounds like Miles is fine with the fact that, you know, we did a business transaction. It's all good. At the time, I'm going to be honest, Miles, it did seem I was a little stressed out in the situation. I think back on it, and I think I had reason to be. You did approach me at 3 a.m. That's typically a time where dubious business is conducted.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a night owl. Who knows? But I cannot fucking believe that the real Miles ended up hearing the story.
It's incredible.
I told him, I was like, dude, I owe you a drink. If you're ever in New York, hit me up. What a crazy full circle.
I
moment.
love it, man. Wow. That's a really good one. That's way better than the trouble I've gotten myself into on the podcast by people finding out that I was talking about them. It's never been like, that was a funny story. I think you're talking about me. Like, you know, by the way, I've been a rapper now, and now I do jujitsu. It's usually like I have to, big trouble.
Dude, can you believe it? It's so funny. Like the lesson that I learned. Now, I got lucky in this situation that he had a good sense of humor because in the video, I call him a sketchy guy. I say this sketchy guy.
Yeah.
And you know, these kind of people who have a lot of cash, people who have a lot of cash on them tend to not have that good of a sense of humor, dude.
No,
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
if I'm talking about him at all, he could get upset about that potentially.
Yeah.
Not to mention, I'm calling him a sketchy guy. I'm accusing him that he was trying to rob me for the money,
Mhm.
which he claims is not true, and it's nice to hear that. That could have gone poorly, and I described him really well. This guy, Miles, with a neck tattoo. In the future, I'm gonna not be so descriptive about about the kind of people in these stories.
Yeah.
Because like it's so funny that it got back to him.
Probably safe. Probably for the best. Yeah. I agree with that. Well, that's fantastic, Giulio. I'm glad you're okay, and I'm glad Mass Pike Miles has become a family man.
Shout out to Miles. It's amazing, dude. I couldn't remember the specific place. I remembered it was outside of Boston. Dedham 06. How the fuck does he remember that? The guy's like an
Yeah.
elephant. He has an elephant memory.
It's like it meant a lot to him too.
I know.
It's like he's, you know, put down a name on a list that day and was like, if I ever run into the kid who screwed me out of that money for the PlayStation.
Dude, we were both on the come up. I mean, Miles must have already been about to kind of sign with Maybach Music because Hustlin' had just come out.
Yeah.
And then I think Rick Ross started signing people not that long after, you know, famously Wale, Meek Mill. There's other people too that I can't think of. But it's crazy that Miles ended up being in the mix.
Wow. Have you listened to any of his music?
No, but apparently he sings. I think he's like, he would do hooks for the songs.
Cool.
Thus the musical note, I guess.
Wow.
But
cool,
shout out to
man.
Mass Pike Miles. Francis said something hilarious. He goes, dude, his name might as well have been like Best Buy Best Buy Boston guy 06. I've told 3 different people like that and they've died of laughter. It's really funny, dude.
Love it, dude.
Oops,
Awesome.
the fucking podcast, baby.
Yeah, man, that's it.
Full circle. Guys, Oops, the podcast. Really fun to be back in the saddle. We enjoyed doing this episode. We enjoy doing every episode, and we thank you all very much for listening. Hit us up on Instagram at Oops the Podcast. I'm at Not Julio. He's at Francis CC Ellis. Send us your stories to oopsthepodcast@gmail.com. We will read them and get back to you, even if we don't end up reading them on the air. We love hearing your stories. We love giving you advice. So thanks for everything, and that's it.
And thanks to everyone who joined us for the happy hour last night
yeah,
on
that was
Patreon.
fun.
That was really great.